Hello students, welcome to another session of Mastering Mains PYQs. Today we'll be discussing a question of world history. It was from this year's paper, CSC 2023 GS paper 1, from the history section. Like I said in the earlier class as well, history has a very standard weightage of 6 questions. Okay, out of that, one part is world history, and today we'll be discussing the question which was from the world history part. Okay. Coming to the question. Okay, question was, bring out the socio-economic effects of the introduction of railways in different countries of the world. Okay, the question is asking about the impact railway brought, and specifically the socio-economic impact railway brought across different countries when it was introduced. Okay, so the first thing is that no one has read a particular topic called railways and the impact it brought. So this is these are other type of questions wherein you will have to use your existing information and come up with the answer on the spot. You have to be quick on your feet and start thinking. Okay, so the way to go about this question is that when you talk about railways, okay, you can see the socio-economic impact it had on India. Okay, and then you can extrapolate it to various geographies, saying that if it was able to connect distant lands, distant regions in India, it would have done it very efficiently in, say, Russia, which has a very wide geography. The Trans-Siberian Railway, it's still the longest railway line. Okay, you can say it would have connected very efficiently the east and west of America and east and west of Australia. Okay, then when you see for railways, you realize that it's the biggest employer of the country. So you can relate that, okay, if the railways maintaining a railway needs so many people to run it, then similar might have been scenario in different countries as well. Okay, so you can extrapolate, you can collect the knowledge you have of the Indian railways from India, and you can try to extrapolate and reflect it upon different countries. Okay, so this is how will we try to go about this answer. Okay, in the introduction, when they are talking about different countries, okay, you might not be very familiar with it. Okay, but as a academic exercise, you should know that when railways were introduced in different countries. Okay, like in Britain, it was the first. It came in 1825. In US, it came in 1827. In Canada, it came in 1836. In Russia, 1837. Okay, in India, we all know it was 1853. And in Egypt, the first nation to have railway in African continent was Egypt. It came not very long after India in 1856. Okay, so we see the introduction of railways was a common theme, was not very far from each other. Okay, because it was a very efficient tool. It helped in economics. Okay, it was a very efficient tool in bringing down the cost of trade. So as Britain got a hang of it, soon it was exported. The idea was exported to United States, Canada, Russia, and India. In India, it was brought by the British, and it was brought to expedite our extraction of India's resources. Okay, similar was the case in Egypt. Okay, next we should see in introduction what to write in introduction in this question. Here you can talk about how the introduction of railways has a different impact, has a very strong impact in different dimensions, as in different dimensions as in trade, communication, and transport. Okay, you can start by saying the contribution of railways in development of these three domains. Okay, next that would be your introduction. Next we can come to the body part. Okay, in here the question is asking about socio-economic changes. Okay, so in exam you can club them as socio-economic, but here as we are discussing in detail, we will try to split them into the social impact and the economic impact. So first we will see the social impact. Social impact. Okay, first we see it erased social barriers. For example, in India, the caste system was very prevalent. Okay, people of different castes did not cohabit, did not sit together. But in a public railway, in a system like railway, where you have one compartment and everyone has to sit together. Okay, so this broke the caste barriers. Okay, next we see it provided for cultural exchange. Cultural exchange. How? Because it helped people travel in large numbers across long distances. For example, if you see an Indian example, a Bengali person can now easily travel to the southernmost point of India in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Okay, so they they will see the distinct culture that India has. Okay, so it helped in the culture exchange, and people across different cultures, when they got together, they realized what not only just the differences but the similarities as well. Okay, next we see it promoted urbanization. It promoted urbanization. How? Because even today you see the railway stations, most of the railway stations are situated in the hearts of cities. Okay, it is because the cities have developed around railway stations. Okay, currently a number of cities, almost every city has a secondary railway station to divert their traffic. Okay, and it has a station just outside the on the boundaries of the city to ease traffic, but the main railway station of every city is at the heart of it because the cities have developed around railways. Okay, next we see it is it enabled migration because railway became very convenient form of transport when we are going across long distances. Okay, if someone has to go travel from say north to south of India, no, they will not consider taking a bus, okay, or going by road. They will prefer railways. Okay, so because it made long distance journeys easier, migration became easier. Okay, this point stands still today because as recently you might have seen the huge rush of migrant laborers. Okay, during the festivals of Diwali and Chhat. Okay, so this is how railways has facilitated migration across long distances. Okay, next we see it enabled political movements as well. Political movements like in India. In India, the development of nationalism and promotion of national movement, railway deserves a credit for that because for the first time, people from different geographies, okay, could come together, and national organizations could come up. Okay, this was because the credit of it should go to railways. Okay, next, the important impact was that it also carried information. Okay, its secondary advantage, secondary benefit was the development of telecommunications, but railways directly carried the press, the pamphlets and the newspapers from one area to another in earlier times. Okay, it was the cheapest form of transport. Okay, and when people moved, they moved on with the information. Okay, like if someone might have come from say south to north. Okay, they can talk about the problems in south, and then when they come to north and they see the problems are similar. Okay, so it develops a sense of unity among them. Okay, so these are the social impact brought by railways. Next, we see the economic impact. The first impact would be industrialization. As you can see, railways brought down the cost of movement of raw materials very drastically. Okay, it brought in efficiency. Okay, and it was a reason the big industrial centers started to come around railways. Okay, and big industrial cities even today are connected with railways to ensure that the cost of transport comes down. Okay. Next, employment opportunities. Employment opportunities, like in India, railways is the largest employer. It employs around 1.14 million people. Okay, and similar is the case in US. In US, it employs around 1.2 lakh people, and in Britain, employs around 1.1 lakh people. Okay, so this is the direct employment provided by the railways, not just the secondary ones. If you count the secondary ones, it will be running into millions, because the industrial centers were developed because of railways and around railways. Okay. Next, it connected hinterlands to ports. Okay, like in India, India's first railway line was brought between Thane to Bombay. Okay, the purpose was connecting the hinterlands of Thane and bringing the cotton to ports. Okay, similar was the case of connecting in Canada, when the industrial regions were connected with the 5 lake systems. Okay, so it helped in the development of hinterlands. Okay. Next, it boosted agriculture. How come? Because it ensured that the agricultural produce can be transported across long distances, and even the perishable items can be moved across. Like if you say the see the Trans-Siberian Railway. Okay, the agriculture region of the west produces grains. Okay, but the eastern region of Russia, the Vladivostok region, okay, it is very cold to grow anything. Okay, so the movement of agriculture produce from west to east facilitated settlement there. Okay, so this is how it boosted agriculture. Next, we see it spurred innovation. Like the railway started as steam engine, and now the fastest railway is maglev and bullet trains. Okay, so it shows how the technological development has taken place because of railways. And when you start with one basic technology, okay, its subsidiary effects, okay, it has a number of effects on the secondary producers as well. Like someone who produces steel for railways can also make good quality steel which will serve other industries. Okay, so this is how because railway produces a big demand. Okay, because of that demand, a market comes up, and when someone starts producing for that particular market, secondary demand comes up. Okay, so this is how it spurred innovation. And you will be surprised to know that the development of clocks and standard times, like we all know, India is following GMT plus 5:30. Okay, this is a standard time. It was also adopted because of railways. Because what happened earlier is that everyone used to follow their local time. Local time is when the sun is just overhead, that's 12 noon. So everywhere the time was different. But when the trains started connecting places, okay, everyone had to know at what time the train will come. Okay, and it will be very difficult if 4 places the train stops, they follow 4 different times. So to ensure uniformity and train and help with the running of trains, standard times are adopted. Okay, so it's a contribution of the railways as well. Okay, and then there's a development of communication system as well, because when you have train system, you also need some communication system to ensure and inform the next station if there's a problem. Okay, so it also helped in development of communication systems. Okay, and next, overall, it helped in global trade. It's a secondary point to the fourth one. Okay, how? Because earlier people used to produce just for their geography, just for their region, but now because of railway, they could export, they could send their resources, send their produce to further places. and this incentivized them to produce more. So the places which had more production value, more productivity, started to produce more because they had a ready market because of railways. Okay, so it promoted global trade as well. So we see the socio-economic impact of railways. Now we come to the conclusion. In conclusion, you can tell about how railway stitches territories. How? Because if you see, a couple of centuries earlier, Europe was divided into a number of kingdoms, and everyone was fighting everyone. Okay, it was because of railway, and now it is a very unified system under the Schengen. Okay, it also has unified trains. Trains run across countries as well. Okay, so it stitches territories. Okay, next one point you can see is, you can take the example of Africa. Okay, though I said first railway in Africa came in year 1856, but still the rail density is lowest in Africa, and it is one of the reason of Africa's lack of development. Okay, so you can see, you can draw parallel between railways and the socio-economic impact it has. Okay, so this is how, in the 2 points, you can try to conclude this answer. Okay, I hope you are using this initiative and writing answers. So write today's question. You will be seeing today's question just after the video, and try to write this answer and submit the answer as well. I'll see you again in the next discussion. Thank you.